Namibia is ranked among the world's most politically stable countries. The country is strategically located on the southwestern coast of Africa and serves as a quintessential conduit with the rest of the world for landlocked neighboring countries. Lüderitz is situated in the Chorus region of southern Namibia between desert and ocean. This town stood at the center of the diamond rush in the 1800s. The adjacent diamond mining settlement is now a tourist attraction, the ghost town of Goldmanspoort. Modern-day investors recently followed in the footsteps of early entrepreneur Adolf Lüderitz and adventurer Bartholomew Dias, who erected a stone cross on the southern peninsula.
Investment does not take place in a vacuum.
One of the things we guard jealously here in Namibia is a stable, peaceful environment, but also one that is typically quite predictable. So if our parliament passes a piece of law, typically we're quite good at adhering to that law, and it gets, for example, implemented throughout the various offices, ministries, and agencies in government. Those small things that we take for granted, peace, stability, good rule of law, actually do have a commercial impact, and typically they will translate into lower cost of capital to invest in your country.
With the new industries coming up all around Lüderitz, soon this town will become one of the major economic centers of our country.
We are a very small economy, but I think over the last 2-3 years, for example, suddenly I think people have taken note about the investment opportunity in Namibian context. Namibia is on the map.
I can state here on behalf of the government of the Republic of Namibia, we are also ready to help and to support the regional economic development of Karas region as a region and Lüderitz as a town.
Offshore oil and gas resources and green energy potentially look promising, as the yields of the fishing industry is less dynamic than in the past.
The south happened to be also the part of the country that is actually blessed with abundant wind, solar, and land. And it's therefore key to the development of the green hydrogen industry.
So if you say Lüderitz to me, it is a small town of 16,000 people. It is literally a blank canvas, right? It is a town that is supposed to harbor 7 gigawatts plus of renewable energy potential, 350,000 tons of hydrogen production. It's supposed to harbor a 420 megawatt gas to power plant. It is supposed to be one of the main bases that is going to be used to service more than 1 billion barrels of potential oil production, 300 kilometers off the coast of Lüderitz.
2 years ago, you would not actually see people coming to Lüderitz. But now we even have got commercial flights that fly into Lüderitz. Why? Simply because of what the oil and gas industry has done.
The talk of the town is an ambitious green hydrogen project that is taking shape 70 kilometers south of Lüderitz. Tipped to become one of the 5 largest hydrogen production plants in the world, it will be Namibia's first fully vertically integrated gigawatt-scale green hydrogen project. The shareholders are Nicholas Holdings and Enitrag, a renewable energy company, with the Namibian government holding a 24% share, with up to 50% of the expected project revenue accruing to the Namibian government.
But what we're looking at basically is first of its kind globally, which is a fully vertically integrated gigawatt scale green hydrogen production project. Now, when I'm saying fully integrated, it means that we are setting up, of course, the power plants from which will be the source of the energy that will be used for the electrolyzers to produce green hydrogen. So this full integration will include the setting up of clean energy. That's of course solar energy as well as wind energy, and that will be used in combination with desalinated water that will be coming from the sea here in Lüderitz, pumped into an electrolyzer, and then green hydrogen will be created through that electrolysis process. That is using the clean energy from wind and solar, and of course the desalinated water from the sea. And using that will create a derivative called green ammonia, after adding nitrogen to, of course, make it possible for exports of this green ammonia and green hydrogen to export markets.
When this industry is as new as it is, we should probably not emphasize competitions, but rather let's emphasize collaboration, because we got a lot to learn.
Hyphen has assisted in paying for a consultant that helped the Ludus Town Council come up with a strategy in terms of a rapid expansion.
So we then had to engage central government to then assist us in making sure that we get the town ready to face, the developments that we expected to come. And as a result of the engagements, 91 million Namibian dollars was made available.
So it really is all just about strategic thinking, making sure that we deliver housing solutions and business solutions.
We're going to be building a whole new town from scratch in a futuristic, sustainable manner. So whether you're an architect, a builder, even a funder, Lüderitz is a place you definitely want to be because the world's attention is there. If I say Lüderitz, I'm thinking construction, I'm thinking logistics, I'm thinking hospitality, I'm thinking a multitude of bulk infrastructure that has to be provided.
Ship repairs, the amount of solar panels that will be installed could lead to opportunities where at some point that you could have solar panels manufactured.
We're obviously also thinking environmental conservation because it is bordering one of the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. So if you're an environmentalist, a blogger, a botanist, you want to get involved to make sure that as the Namibian government and international development partners develop these assets, we're doing so responsibly in a sustainable manner so that our future generation is not robbed of the flora and the fauna that we're blessed with today. So if you want to be transformative, you're definitely thinking Lüderitz.
If these lands could speak, what would they say? They would say, turn on your cameras and widen your lenses and explore remarkable Namibia, the land where the ocean waves kiss the sand dunes, and a country of absolute wonder and endless horizons. Find the best locations for filming that are engulfed with breathtaking sunsets. Connect with us at www.nfc.na.
There's this African proverb that says, alone you go fast, together you go far.
Namport oversees Namibia's key ports, Lüderitz and Walvis Bay, and serves as a vital transit hub.
We have just proven over the last couple of years that we have got the necessary infrastructure, the necessary ingredients for us to position Namibia to become a regional logistics hub.
We are leaders in general vessel traffic and repairs, container cargo handling, fuel imports, commodity exports, and importing vehicles.
We are not just interested in moving faster, but we are interested in the long-term development of Namibia. And it's one of also of those industries that actually enable the country to earn foreign currency. That is why we are inviting all potential investors to actually come and partner with us so that we can together jointly position Namibia to become the regional logistics hub.
While Lüderitz is bracing itself for the real impact of the developments planned by oil and gas giants, along with those of hyper hydrogen energy, a Dutch startup, Kelp Blue, has been making waves with its revolutionary approach to kelp forests.
Those in the know realize that Namibia is one of the, if not the most stable and best run countries in the continent. In favor is the stability of the regime, the stability of the judiciary process, the fact that you have due process of law and the government can be relied on to do what it's supposed to do.
Wolf's kelp farming pilot in Luderitz is making headlines internationally. The project grows kelp to lock away planet-heating carbon dioxide. By regularly harvesting the top of the kelp's canopy, the company hopes eventually to produce 150 tons of giant kelp each year to supply its processing department.
The ocean, per se, has given us an opportunity to really explore something that hasn't really been done before, which is cultivating giant kelp at scale.
So it is about getting to scale quite rapidly. Each hectare requiring, in Namibian money, about 1.5 million Namibian dollars. So it's quite a significant capital investment. And then the factory expansion is many, many times that.
The reason why I believe in what we do is because of the science behind what giant kelp can do. When you dive in there and see this for yourself, you really do see the magic that giant kelp is able to do.
So kelp farming draws down carbon by essentially sequestering organic carbon from the plants in deep ocean sediments. So a very long-term, near permanent form of sequestration.
The impact of it is much bigger than the Amazon rainforest, which is quite incredible. And it's a solution that people are starting to talk about. But what I love about working at Kelp Blue is that we're one of the first ones, if not the first company, to be really pushing for this change.
If you spend a lot of time, like some of the divers, you'll see the explosion of biodiversity that takes place, and this is only on a few hectares.
I think for us, it's about thinking of the world 200 years from now, and that's the message that Kelp Blue keeps basically passing forward. So it's really important that every little thing now basically deviates to thinking about climate change and the climate for our future generations.
So our process starts off by the jetty, where the kelp is then offloaded into the truck and then transported to the factory. We, the quality department, work with the liquid, where our R&D department work with the solid, which we refer to as pulp.
So the girls are doing an excellent job in coming up with creative ways of coming up with new products.
What we do is we work with the byproduct after the steam blue production. Because we work on a no waste policy, we try to optimize everything we get in the pulp.
Various sustainable products are made from the pulp, including pellets for water control, animal feed, leather-like materials, and bioplastic products. Biostimulants are also used to boost crop yields and ensure drought resilience.
And it's all a mechanical process, so basically it's just extracting the essential components from the kelp and using this on the plant.
And then the end product, or biostimulant, which is an agricultural input material, also has the ability to allow farmers to move away from chemistry in terms of nitrates, in terms of pesticides, in terms of insecticides.
Kelp can also be used as a binding agent.
We're also looking at working with alginate, extracting the alginate for commercial purposes.
Kelp Blue has about 80 employees in Luderitz. And this is part of a much bigger dream, promises Hooft, who jointly found Kelp Blue in 2020 as COVID-10 spread around the world. The Namibia project will be used as a blueprint to set up in New Zealand and Alaska.
So I mean, our ambitions are really quite globe-spanning.
They are growing in leaps and bounds, and I think they are fitting in perfectly into the Luderitz situation, and speaks to how we want to diversify the economy of Luderitz. We don't want to rely on just the oil and gas or the hydrogens. We really want to have a multi-sectoral, economy.
Blue carbon credits forms part of the long-term plan.
We have a preliminary sign-off on the framework of blue bonds from the Namibian Stock Exchange. And in the case of a green bond, or in this case a blue bond, which is basically a green bond that takes place in the sea, you have a number of other metrics that come with that. And we are busy with accreditation of those credits so that we can start issuing them, probably a year or two of work left, because it's the first type of credit of its kind. And De Beers stepped in very early on in order to help us to accelerate that process. The whole process of getting accreditation from an institution like Vera or Gold Standard, we work with Gold Standard, is long, it's cumbersome, and it's very expensive. So their investment part of it was earmarked for the accreditation, and in return for that, they have first rights to a significant portion of the early carbon that we will put on the market. And their intent with this is to retire it against their marine diesel footprint.
In the hatchery, seaweed spores are grown under conditions similar to the open sea to achieve greater success rates for when the algae plants are released into the Atlantic waters.
Our people know fishing, they know the ocean. So really, without having to change any of their skill sets, people can benefit massively.
There are a lot of opportunities, so by all means, people should reach out. I'm quite open to people reaching out directly to myself or co-founders or colleagues.
We're trying to make it, as simplified as possible for everyone who wants to invest in Ludwitz. And so your first point of call is our CEO. He will then obviously arrange a presentation date with the investor so that we can all sit around the table, have a look at what is the proposed project about. Come and chat with us. We can take you through all of our challenges and all of the wonderful opportunities.
Please come to Namibia. Come put your money here. This is where it is safe.
Discover Portside Marine Services, your premier logistics and supply chain management partner, right from the port of Walvis Bay, Namibia. Revolutionizing logistics, we offer swift and efficient cargo handling for seamless imports and exports. With a comprehensive range of services, Portside Marine Services ensures excellence beyond Namibia's borders. From air and sea freight to road transportation, rail transportation, and customs clearance, we handle every aspect of your supply chain with precision and care. Need reliable shipping services? We connect you with a vast network of carriers for cost-effective global transport. Exporting? We streamline documentation, packing, and handling. Importing? We manage the entire process, from overseas coordination to final delivery. Our expertise extends to complex project cargo, catering to specialized industries like mining, the fishing industry, ship supply delivery, oil and gas, and more. Portside Marine Services, your trusted partner in logistics.
If these lands could speak, what would they say? They would say, turn on your cameras and widen your lenses and explore remarkable Namibia, the land where the ocean waves kiss the sand dunes and a country of absolute wonder and endless horizons. Find the best locations for filming that are engulfed with breathtaking sunsets. Connect with us at www.nfc.na.
Two salmon farms are on the cards for Luderitz.
Those two salmon farm projects really speaks again to Luderitz's heritage. We're predominantly a fishing town.
We rely on a local skill set. I see way more benefits than risks.
The Benguela Blue Aqua Farming Project is the brainchild of serial entrepreneur Austrian-born Johannes Aldrin. The project secured permits to grow Atlantic salmon in submersible net pens. The venture will firstly target the emerging African market.
It's 1.3 billion people that are getting wealthier and wealthier. A new middle class is being established.
Exports to the international market is also on the cards. For Johannes, the vision is crystal clear.
Best case, 10 years down the line, and we will be at a capacity of 35,000 tons of salmon that are being produced in Luderitz for export and local consumption. That's our dream. And this is going to be the site where we are planning and building the whole operation of Benguela Blue Aqua Farming. So we will have a jetty bringing fish in and out, bringing feed to the offshore side, storage, and our hatching and processing facility will be here on site.
70% of the people in Namibia are below the age of 35.
So if we can bridge the gap in terms of employment creation, utilizing these emerging industries, that will be a win for us in Lutret.
We know we will be able to hire something like 600 people in our factory.
About 1,500 indirect employment opportunities will also be created. A big plus is that Lutret has abundant and affordable energy resources, says Johannes.
Energy is available at very low cost. Agricultural products that we need for our feed production can be produced in Namibia locally.
Initially, the fingerlings will be hatched at the factory until they're about 150 grams. Johannes believes that collaboration with other industry partners is of essence. Also, on the side of advanced offshore technology.
If you are cooperating, like for instance at the hatching side, you make sure through cooperation the best genetic foundation is available to everyone.
For the on-site leg, desalinated water is required for various processes and growing smolt because of high water quality requirements and high volumes needed.
And that requires a lot of energy. And Namibia has been a quite stable country to operate in that respect. So electricity, safety or security is given, and it's coming at very, very favorable costs.
The fact that we'll oversize our capacity for electricity and water production, that will of course bring major benefits for the rest of the country, particularly when it comes to the electricity, because we want to reduce that reliance on the Southern African power pool.
And hopefully the market will have some more fish, and the factories will be back in full production and really working, and it also then allows logistics and all of the spin-offs really to take place.
Port activities are actually a direct reflection or barometer of what is basically happening in the economy. When there is significant demand for services or products or services within the economy, that's also a direct reflection of actually what is happening within the port.
In this context, significant port expansion is on the cards. The strategy is based on two phases that includes an extension of the old port and the development of a brand new port.
By an extra 700 meters of quay length. So phase one is already at an advanced stage. We have secured financing, which will be complemented with our own resources. And that project will go ahead, irrespective of whether the oil and gas industry get off the ground, irrespective of whether the green hydrogen get off the ground, because already the port is actually operating at full capacity. We already have clients that are basically waiting at the gate. The development of the Angra point, that is the one that is actually dependent on the feasibility of the green hydrogen industry.
And just close to Angra Point as well, we'll also set up the desalination plant as well as the ammonia production plant, and of course the pipeline that will be exporting the green hydrogen, and the resultant ammonia or the green ammonia would be now at that Angra Point port.
We set up necessary infrastructure in the port of Lutret to be able to export that green energy or ammonia to the port of Rotterdam, who would then actually distribute it further to their own industries that side, and also to the rest of Europe. That's Lutret.
There are countless synergies for investors to explore in the slipstream of the green energy drive.
When we're pulling out the water for desalination, there will be a byproduct there, call it brine. It's basically salt. Will be removed for the water to be fresh for the electrolysis process. If there's anybody out there that has got some business ideas, a salt manufacturing factory, etc., the brine is there. We can work with them, and they can set up whatever facility that they're trying to set up to be able to benefit from that offshoot as well.
We are actively working on convincing feed producers to discover Lüderitz as a viable location to produce fish feed for the local market. That would be the invitation. Get your act together early enough so when the market is kicking in that you are by the sideline and just engage.
Come and visit us. Come and have a discussion with us. And you'll be surprised what we'll discover. It's not as risky as you think it is because it's based on the perceptions. It's based on the historical perception about what Africa is all about. But I think things have changed.
In Namibia, the projects are not starting 2 or 3 years from now. They started 2 years ago. And I think that's the one thing that people are missing, or they're still waiting for this big green hydrogen project that'll happen. Pilot projects took off 2 years ago, for example, right? So today, in this year, in 2024, in Q4, we're looking to start producing 3 products that never existed on 18th of March 2021 when President announced that we wanted to study this as a potential industry.
And therefore, my invitation to investors, look, don't make your decision to invest based on what we have heard, but it should be based on what we have seen. And therefore, come to our countries, engage us. We want to be partners. And also to say, it's also not true that we want everybody who think they're investors to come to our countries either. As much as we want investors to come, the only investors that we really want to have in our countries is those who think like we, such that investment become mutually beneficial. You get something from your investment, we get something from that investment because it must mean something to our economy. And therefore, those investors who also have got an idea to create a mutually beneficial relationship, partnership, those are the investors who come. But don't make your decision based on what we have heard or what you have read, but rather come to Namibia and engage us, and then you'll be surprised what you can find.
This program is brought to you by the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. NIPDB, your first port of call for investing in Namibia. Are you ready to invest in Namibia? Contact the NIPDB team at info@nipdb.com or visit our website at www.nipdb.com.